welcome to another deep dive.
Yeah.
All right, so today we are going to be looking at the world of YouTube T channels.
Okay.
And more specifically, we're going to be looking at Anna Oop.
Okay.
All of their channels.
Yeah.
And we are going to be looking at this through the eyes of 3 other YouTubers.
Right.
We're going to be looking at Lerix
Okay.
and Paige Christie and their takes on Anna Oop.
Sounds spicy.
They are spicy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of accusations flying around.
Really?
We've got hypocrisy. We've got plagiarism.
Oh, my goodness.
And there might even be some insights into the way that these channels operate.
So it's kind of like we're peeling back the curtain a little bit on the influencer world.
Right.
And we're going to be looking at these criticisms and see if they actually hold water.
Yeah.
And you know what they tell us about the bigger picture of content creation online.
Yeah. Let's start off with a Cheeto.
Okay.
He really seems to be bothered by what he sees as Anna Oop's lack of sincerity.
Yeah.
Especially when they're covering sensitive topics.
Oh, okay.
Like tragedies and things like that.
Gotcha.
And he uses several examples.
Okay.
Like the Astroworld tragedy and Piper Raquel's fans dying in a car crash.
Okay.
As examples of this.
Wow.
He even calls out Anna Oop for using a Vine Boom sound effect in the Astroworld video.
Oh my gosh.
Which he finds incredibly disrespectful.
Yeah, and that kind of brings up an interesting question. Like, how do creators navigate these kinds of tragic events responsibly?
Yeah.
Is it even possible to, make content about these sorts of things without, exploiting the situation or people involved?
Right.
And Tito clearly feels like Anna Oop crossed the line there.
Right. Yeah. And then there's also this hypocrisy angle.
Yeah.
And Cheeto points out that Anna Oop criticizes TikTokers for making music, and then they released their own song.
Oh, wow.
Which, according to Cheeto, wasn't exactly a chart topper.
All right.
So it's kind of this like...
Yeah, it's that whole do as I say, not as I do kind of thing.
Exactly. And it's like... Yeah. How damaging is that, really, when you have a platform that big?
Right, because it makes you wonder if, the criticism is genuine or just a way to stir up drama and get views.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he also calls out Anna Oop for, hyping up what he sees as non-issues.
Like what?
Like Addison Rae's alleged support for Donald Trump.
Gotcha.
And he thinks that these videos are just clickbait.
Okay.
Designed to get views.
Yeah.
It almost makes you wonder if controversy sells better than actual in-depth analysis on YouTube.
Yeah, well, it really raises questions about, you know, what drives content creation online. Are creators incentivized to, focus on drama and outrage because that's what gets attention?
Yeah.
And if so... what does that say about the content that we're consuming and the algorithms that feed it to us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Cheeto doesn't stop there. He also accuses Anna Oop.
Of what?
Of spreading misinformation about Kyle Rittenhouse.
Oh, wow.
And he says that they twisted the facts to fit a certain narrative.
Gotcha. So this kind of gets at that issue of responsibility, especially when you have a platform as big as Anna Oop's. When you're presenting information to a large audience like that, especially about something as sensitive as a trial, you kind of have a duty to be accurate and present, a balanced view.
Right.
Cheeto doesn't feel that Anna Oop lived up to that responsibility.
Yeah. And it gets even more intense when Cheeto brings up Anna Oop's video about Piper Raquel's reaction to her fans dying in a car crash.
Okay.
And he claims that the video exploited the tragedy for views.
Oh, wow.
And even brings in another YouTuber named Grimsy who agrees.
Okay.
Grimsy goes as far as to compare Anna Oop to a YouTuber known for making videos about people immediately after they die.
Oh, gosh.
Often before the families have even been notified.
Wow.
So that's a pretty heavy comparison.
Yeah, that's a really heavy comparison. And it really speaks to a growing concern about, the ethics of profiting from tragedy, especially, in genres like true crime. Where is the line between reporting on these events and exploiting them for entertainment?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And to further his point, it brings in another unnamed YouTuber who criticizes Anna
for what?
For being insincere and capitalizing on tragic events.
Yeah.
And even brings up Technoblade's death from cancer
as another example.
Gotcha.
So it's like
he's trying to show a pattern of behavior, not just like
not an isolated incident.
Not just an isolated incident. Yeah. He's trying to paint a picture of Anna Oop as someone who, prioritizes views and engagement over sensitivity and respect, which are essential when you're dealing with these kinds of difficult topics.
Yeah.
It definitely raises questions about the motivations behind these types of videos, for sure.
So a Cheeto definitely paints a pretty critical picture of Anna Oop. So let's move on to Lerix.
Okay.
Who zeroes in on Anna Oop's video about blackfishing.
All right, so Lerix is taking a different approach.
Yes.
He's not necessarily arguing for or against blackfishing.
Right.
He's kind of dissecting how Anna Oop presented the topic.
Yeah.
He's calling out what he sees as, weak arguments and inconsistencies in their approach.
Yeah.
He even mocks the term blackfishing itself.
Really?
He says that Anna Oop claims that it's bad, but never really explains why.
Interesting.
He also takes issue with their criticism of Nikita Dragun for using makeup to change her appearance.
Okay.
And Lerix argues that there's nothing inherently wrong with experimenting with different looks, even if those looks are inspired by other cultures.
So it seems like he's pushing back against what he sees as overly restrictive social norms.
Right.
He's challenging the idea that, there's only one right way to express yourself and, questioning who gets to define those rules.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he takes a deep dive into Anna Oop's coverage of the drama surrounding Jessie Nelson. Who was a former member of Little Mix, who was also accused of blackfishing. And he criticizes Anna Oop for using these vague terms like capitalizing on aspects of blackness without actually defining what that means.
So like they're trying to stir up outrage without providing any real substance.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like they're trying to stir up outrage without providing any real substance.
It's like a common tactic, using emotionally charged language to elicit a reaction without backing it up with clear definitions or evidence.
Yeah. He also finds it hypocritical
that
Anna Oop plays the "it's not my place" card.
Really?
When confronted with Nicki Minaj's defense of Jessie Nelson.
Okay.
And Lerix argues that, Anna Oop's entire channel is built on criticizing other people's opinions.
Yeah.
But when it comes to their own opinion, they suddenly want to avoid scrutiny.
Yeah. This really gets to the heart of what makes commentary so tricky.
Yeah.
It's easy to critique from the sidelines, but it's much harder to engage in, thoughtful, nuanced dialogue, especially when you're dealing with sensitive topics like race and cultural appropriation.
Right. Lerix tackles Anna Oop's video about Zoe Laverne defending Kyle Rittenhouse.
Oh, okay.
And he criticizes Anna Oop for portraying the situation as completely black and white with Rittenhouse as the villain without acknowledging any complexity in the case.
So he's advocating for a more nuanced approach, one that considers the context, the motivations, the potential for multiple perspectives. He seems concerned that Anna Oop is just echoing the popular narrative without engaging in critical thinking.
Yeah. Lerix even goes as far as to say that Anna Oop would endorse morally reprehensible views if they were widely accepted.
Okay.
And he sees this as a dangerous lack of independent thought.
Yeah.
And to make matters worse, he calls out Anna Oop for claiming to be neutral on the blackfishing issue while simultaneously criticizing anyone who disagrees with.
So he's highlighting what he perceives as a major contradiction. If you're truly neutral, you should be open to engaging with different viewpoints, even if you don't agree with them. He's essentially accusing Anna Oop of, shutting down dissent instead of having an honest intellectual conversation.
And just when you think he's done, Lerix takes a detour into Anna Oop's other channel, Anna Plays, where he finds even more content that he finds problematic. And he specifically mocks a video where Anna Oop's Roblox avatar seemingly rejects a character named Simon because of his yellow skin.
Oh, my goodness.
And Lerix sarcastically accuses Anna Oop of racism.
Okay.
But it feels like he's using humor to point out what he sees as hypocrisy.
So it's definitely a satirical jab.
Yeah.
But it underscores a larger point.
Right.
Are we reading too much into these online personas?
Right.
Or should creators be held accountable for, the messages that they convey, even in seemingly lighthearted content.
Yeah,
it's a question.
Yeah.
It's a question worth asking.
So Lerix definitely brings a sharp wit.
He does.
And a critical eye to his analysis of Anna Oop. He seems to be holding them to a higher standard, expecting more from a channel with such a big influence.
Yeah. And Lerix really makes us think about, the responsibility that comes with having a large platform.
Right. Are creators like Anna Oop obligated to engage in more nuanced, thoughtful discussions? Or are they simply entertainers?
Right.
Catering to what their audience wants?
Yeah.
It's a question.
It is a question.
Worth pondering.
Yeah. Lerix definitely brings up some interesting points.
Yeah, he does.
About the depth, or maybe lack thereof, in Anna Oop's content.
Yeah.
So let's shift gears completely and look at Paige Christie's investigation, which dives into this murky world of YouTube content farms. And she has a theory that Anna Oop, along with a bunch of other T channels, might actually be part of a company posing as individual creators.
So it's like an influencer conspiracy theory.
It is. It is. Yeah. And Paige Christie approaches this like a digital detective gathering evidence and connecting the dots. It really highlights how much goes on
behind the scenes in the YouTube ecosystem that viewers might not even be aware of.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So her investigation starts by looking at the sheer volume of content across all of Anna Oop's channels. So there's the main commentary channel. There's Anna Solves. Anna Plays, Anna Horror Stories, and even Anna Uncovered.
Wow.
Paige Christie argues that it would be impossible for one person to produce that much content, especially with such high production quality and consistent upload schedules.
That's a really good point, because creating and editing these videos takes time and resources. So when you see a channel pumping out content at such a rapid pace, it does make you wonder if there's a team working behind the scenes.
Exactly. And then things get really suspicious when Paige Christie finds a video where another T channel called Butterface mentions getting help from a friend who's a graphic designer. And many people believe that this friend is actually Anna Oop.
Interesting. So this is where the line between collaboration and content farms starts to get blurry.
Yes.
It's normal for YouTubers to work with editors, graphic designers. But the scope of Anna Oop's operation, as Paige Christie presents, it seems much bigger than that.
So Paige Christie keeps digging and uncovers a company called Video Creation Hub.
Video Creation Hub. Which brags about managing multiple YouTube channels.
Oh, wow.
And creating tons of content quickly. She even finds a link between Video Creation Hub and another company called Creon Media Group.
Creon Media Group.
Which specializes in building online communities.
And has a huge team of over 60 people.
Oh, my goodness.
So it's starting to sound like...
So this suggests that there's a whole industry dedicated to creating content for YouTube that operates largely behind the scenes. It raises questions about transparency and whether viewers are even aware of who's really behind the channels that they're watching.
Exactly. And here's where it gets juicy. Paige Christie finds evidence that a scriptwriter for Butterface named D openly states on their online profile that they work for Creon Media Group and write scripts for the Butterface YouTube channel.
Wow. So it seems like Paige Christie might be onto something with this content farm theory. Yeah, this seems to confirm Paige Christie's suspicions. It suggests that these channels, while presented as individual creators, are actually relying on teams of writers, editors, and other professionals to create their content.
It makes you wonder how much of what we see on YouTube is truly original.
Because is it really, the individual creator? Or is it this team of people behind the scenes? Then Paige Christie uncovers a pretty serious allegation against Anna Solves. Which is the true crime spin-off channel. Apparently, Anna Solves was accused of stealing content from a smaller creator named Truth for Reality. Truth for Reality,
who focuses on lesser-known crime cases. And Truth for Reality claims that Anna Solves basically copied their research.
Oh, geez.
And even threatened them with legal action.
Oh, wow.
When they tried to address the issue.
So this raises ethical questions about plagiarism and, how larger channels might be exploiting the work of smaller creators.
Exactly.
It also highlights that, power imbalance on YouTube where those with bigger platforms often have more leverage and influence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Paige Christie finds more evidence of potential plagiarism on Reddit.
Oh, on Reddit.
Where people noticed striking similarities between an Anna Solves video and a video by Mr. Beast.
Oh, my goodness.
The massively popular YouTuber.
Wow.
So if this is true, it means that Anna Solves might be copying from multiple sources, not just smaller creators.
So this pattern of behavior, if true, goes against the whole idea of authenticity that, YouTube is built on. It makes you question, the integrity of content farms. And whether they're stifling creativity.
By just churning out recycled content.
Yeah, Paige Christie connects this back to the low wages often offered to creators working for content farms. And she argues that the pressure to produce content quickly and cheaply might incentivize plagiarism and compromise the quality and sensitivity of the content, especially in a genre like true crime, where respect for victims is crucial.
And it's a valid concern. When profit is prioritized over quality and ethics, it can lead to these shortcuts and insensitive content. It's important to remember that behind every true crime story are real people who've experienced trauma and loss.
Yeah, Paige Christie doesn't stop there. She also worries about the impact of content farms on the entire YouTube ecosystem.
And she argues that their ability to produce content at such a fast pace could lead to burnout among individual creators and a decline in authentic content.
Yeah, this is such a thought-provoking point because if viewers become used to seeing, formulaic, predictable content churned out by content farms, it could devalue, the unique voices and perspectives that make YouTube so diverse and engaging.
And she's concerned that this emphasis on speed and profit could be affecting the quality and sensitivity of content across the platform, particularly in genres like true crime, where accuracy and respect for victims are so important.
This is especially concerning, in light of the allegations against Anna Solves. It raises the question, are some creators prioritizing, views and ad revenue over ethical considerations when covering these sensitive topics.
Finally, Paige Christie reminds us that there are real people working behind the scenes for these content farms. Voice actors, editors, writers, who often get very little credit or compensation for their work.
That's right.
And she expresses hope that these individuals are at least being treated fairly. This brings us back to the human cost, the content farm model. While it might seem efficient and profitable, it's important to ensure that the people creating the content are being treated ethically and compensated fairly for their contribution. So Paige Christie's investigation really opens our eyes to the potential underbelly of YouTube.
It does.
It makes you wonder how much of what we see online is actually genuine and original.
It's a sobering reminder that the content that we consume doesn't just magically appear. There are systems and structures in place that can influence the quality and ethics of what we see online.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground here. It seems like there are some serious concerns about the authenticity and ethics of Anna Oop's content. And especially if this whole content farm theory holds true.
This deep dive has definitely raised some important questions about this evolving landscape of online content creation. As viewers, we're constantly bombarded with content. And it's becoming increasingly difficult to discern, what's genuine and who's really behind.
The channels that we're watching.
It's almost like we need to become YouTube detectives, carefully scrutinizing channels for clues, they might be part of a content farm.
Right.
That's
a great question.
Yeah. What are some red flags that we should be looking?
Well, I think some things to consider are, the volume of content, the editing style across multiple channels, a lack of personal interaction with viewers, and a heavy focus on trending topics rather than, niche interests. But ultimately, it comes down to critical thinking and a healthy dose of skepticism.
So if we suspect that a channel might be part of a content farm, what can we do? Are we complicit?
That's a complex question with no easy answers. I think we can choose to be more conscious consumers.
By, supporting independent creators, diversifying our watch lists, and engaging in critical discussions about the content that we consume.
This whole conversation has definitely made me think more critically about the channels that I subscribe to and the content that I engage with.
It's a good reminder that, every click, every view, every subscription sends a message to creators about what we value. And while it's easy to get caught up in, the entertainment, the drama, it's worth pausing to consider the potential downsides of the content we're consuming.
Are we supporting a system that prioritizes profit over quality, authenticity, and ethical considerations? It's a big question.
It's a question worth asking ourselves. For sure.
I think this deep dive has given us a lot to think about the next time we're browsing YouTube. It's not just about watching videos for entertainment.
It's about being aware of the bigger picture and making informed choices as viewers. And that's the beauty of a deep dive like this. It's not just about, gossiping about YouTubers. It's about sparking conversations about the future of online content creation and our role in shaping that future.
Well said. And on that note, we'll leave you to ponder these questions further. Till next time. Stay curious, stay informed, and keep diving deep. And, become more aware of, what we're actually consuming.
Exactly. Are we supporting creators or are we supporting, corporations masquerading as creators?
It really makes you think, what is the future of content creation?
Is this the direction that we want to see things going in,
Yeah. It's a good question to ask.
It is.
And on that note, we'll leave you to ponder these questions further. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and keep diving deep.